Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and thanks for joining us. I'm John, and today we're going to take a look at my favorite pistol. It's the Smith & Wesson M&P 40 caliber 2.0. So let's get into this. Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you all for joining us. To my subscribers, thank you very much for your support. It's much appreciated, and we look forward to new subscribers. We're starting to climb the ladder there, so to speak, gaining some subscribers, and we're getting to our goal. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button, and take a look at our video library and see what we got going on. A lot of interesting stuff, and I really appreciate everybody's comments, questions, all that stuff. It's really appreciated. I really enjoy hearing from you guys and answering questions. So today we're going to take a look at my favorite pistol, and I've said this before if you're a subscriber to the channel. First of all, I'm a huge Smith & Wesson fan. I love the 2.0 series, the M&P 2.0, and my favorite pistol in that series is the Smith & Wesson M&P chambered in 40 caliber. Before we get going here, just want to make sure that everybody knows we're clear, safe for the YouTube judges out there. Nothing in the chamber, empty, so we can continue safely. So this is my 40 caliber Smith & Wesson, and I have a love for this gun. This is my favorite pistol. The M&P 2.0 series is probably, as far as I'm concerned, top of the line. I know there's going to be people out there that have differing opinions, and that's fine. If you're a SIG guy, you're a SIG guy. If you're a Ruger guy or a girl, you're a Ruger guy or a girl. Doesn't matter as long as the pistol fits your needs and you can shoot it well. Mine, my favorite happens to be the Smith & Wesson. Just love this pistol, love this line of pistols, and it comes in many different calibers. 9mm 40 as we have here, 10mm 45 ACP, and so on and so forth. There's even like the 22 and the 5.7 by 28. So there's plenty of choices out there, but for me it's this Smith & Wesson 40. This one is my favorite so far, and as I've explained before, I was a law enforcement officer for many years, and the 40 caliber is what we started to carry when I got out of the academy. In the academy, it was, we trained with the 9mm, but then once we got out into the field, we were issued 40 calibers, and across the gambit, Glocks, Smith & Wessons, Sig Sauer, you name it, we carried it. But my favorite pistol was this 40, so much so that when I retired myself from law enforcement, I decided to go out and purchase my own 40 Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0, and just fell in love with it. Now, we were carrying the earlier version, the first gen, I guess if you want to call it, and that had some issues to it. A lot of people didn't like the trigger on it. A lot of people, there was just a gambit of things that people didn't like. But when the 2.0 came out, I went down to my local gun store. Actually, I went to the gun range. They had one there. Rented it for an hour, shot it, and just absolutely fell in love with it. So a little bit of history on this caliber. We won't really get too deep into it, but just to kind of give you an overview of how this came about to be. If you recall, there's plenty of stuff on the internet about this. The 1986 shootout with the FBI and the Miami bank robbers. The guys back then were carrying 9mm and I believe 38s. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what they were carrying. They got into basically the short story is they got into a gunfight with these guys. we're having problems with the 9mm and the 38 penetrating, and being able to quickly take down their target. So the FBI kind of went back to the drawing board. The first thing they did is they said, you know, we need to have something, you know, that has more stopping power. And to emphasize on this, that shootout happened in a residential neighborhood. So imagine, you know, you're having a shootout with you know, criminals and bad guys, and you know, you got bullets flying through, you know, residential housing. Made it a bad situation. So the FBI decided, well, we need to change things up a little bit here. We need to have something that has a little bit better stopping power, being able to penetrate car doors, being able to penetrate glass, you know, to go through it and hit the target accurately, stuff like that. So they came out, they started to use the 45 ACP, which is an awesome round. I mean, definitely, you know, big enough to put down, you know, large targets. But what they were having a problem with is the agents within the agency couldn't pass their qualifications. And if you know anything about law enforcement, you're required to qualify with your pistol, also with everything that you wear on your belt, at least twice a year with the pistol. So they're having problems with agents being able to, you know, pass qualifications. And if you don't pass qualification, then you can't carry your firearm. That's a problem. So taking a look at things, they came up with this 40 caliber, and it seemed to fit the bill. Lighter than the 45, still a nice big heavy round to be able to penetrate barriers, to be able to stop you know, your target with fewer shots, as long as you can place them accurately. So that's how the 40 caliber came to be. Now, that's not saying, I know there's going to be people out there that are like, oh, you know, the 40 is a dead round and the 9mm is where it's at. And you would be right. There's been many advances in ammo production and ammunition engineering with the 9mm that do make it quite an effective round. And I own 3 9mm myself. The one that I carry with me every day is the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield Plus in 9mm. So, you know, not to dissuade anybody from using the 9mm, just my personal preference is this 40. This is a pistol that I will carry, especially in the wintertime. It's a little bit hard to carry inside the waistband. I will, you know, admit that. That's one of its downfalls. However, in the wintertime, you know, you're wearing hoodies or, you know, sweaters, sweatshirts, stuff like that. It's pretty easy to conceal on your person when you're wearing those big heavy clothes. And to that statement, you know, this is also a great round when you have your target is also wearing, you know, many layers of clothing and you know, heavy clothes and stuff like that. So wintertime, you know, for me, it's the M&P 40. Not to say that I won't carry the Shield. I love that pistol also. But, you know, for me in the wintertime, it's just more comfortable to carry, you know, the 40 caliber. And, you know, where I live in my state, you are allowed to open carry. So even if, you know, I was having trouble concealing it, I can always, you know, flip that sweatshirt outside of it and I can open carry, just as long as I'm in places where they designate or, you know, okay to open carry. So let's get into some of the specifics about this pistol, and let's talk about it. All right, first things first, I'll show you guys how, you know, I received this. Came in this very nice plastic case. I like the fact that it has a hole that you can put a lock through, you know, and keep it locked up. If you don't have a safe at home or you don't have any way to safely store your pistol, you can always throw it back in here and you can put a lock on it, keep it away from the kiddos and people who aren't supposed to be handling your pistol. So taking a look inside, let's just move this out of the way here. like I said, really nice case. You know, basically this is the way the firearm comes. It's obviously in there in that cutout. You have a slide or an indicator, flag indicator, so that you know that you don't have one in the chamber. I always keep one in the chamber, whether I'm carrying or whether I'm at home, but my pistols are locked up in a safe, and I don't have any small children around that I have to worry about. It's all adults, and everybody knows not to go near my stuff. Comes with 3 15-round magazines, so plenty of firepower as far as I'm concerned. You know, if you're carrying the pistol, you also have, you know, the 2 backup magazines, and it's no problem to take one of these and, you know, stick it in your pocket. Or for me, I do have a mag carrier that's concealed, so I can throw actually both of these into my mag carrier, and I can carry the whole, you know, ensemble with me wherever I go. So, you know, 30, 45 rounds of 40 caliber is plenty enough to do the job. Comes with 4 different back straps. You have a medium, small, medium, large, and extra large, I believe. For me, I have the medium on here. All right, I think I might have the medium large. I'm not sure. But anyways, you know, you have 4 different back straps that you can choose from. And changing these things out is simple. You just turn this at the bottom, remove that. That's actually a tool to be able to, you know, so you don't have to fire the gun or pull the trigger, rather, when you're taking the slide off. These things come off nice and easy. Once you remove that, they have a little hook up here, a little slot, goes right in there. And, you know, your tool goes right back in, and you're good to go. So awesome, you know, technology from Smith & Wesson gives you that option to choose between, you know, what kind of grip or what size grip you want to carry on it. And you know, if you decide to hand this off to, I don't know, maybe one of your kids or something someday, and they don't have the same hand size, they have, you know, different ones to choose from. Like I said, the box, I love the fact that it comes in this case. There was also, you know, a gun lock was in here. There was the owner's manual and all kinds of stuff. I just don't have that in right here right now. I keep that in my safe. I keep those in a plastic bag all together because I really don't need it. It's not necessary for me to have it. But nice box. Gives you a full description on the side, gives you the serial number. This one is obviously the M&P 40. Caliber is 40 Smith & Wesson. Type is pistol, and the barrel length on this is 4.25. So it's a full length, you know, pistol, full size pistol. This pistol is one that I use on my heavy kit. If you guys watch the channel, you know that I have the 308 AR-10 M5. I use that with my London Bridge Trading Company. I believe it's the G33 or something, or G3. I'm thinking of EOTech. But anyway, it's my heavy kit. The 40 goes along with that. I have a battle belt. We're going to do a review on that. I've done one on my Core Essentials battle belt for my CQB kit. But this one is for, you know, longer distances, reaching out and stuff like that. And this is the pistol that I carry on that. So the 40 caliber, you know, the bullet, we'll talk about a little bit here. The stopping power of this thing is just incredible. I mean, you know, you would have to expend more 9mm rounds than you would 40 rounds if you're trying to stop something, you're trying to put something down. Now, I know there's going to be people out there, well, you know, I can take a target down with one shot of the 9mm, and yes, you can, as long as you train with your pistol regularly. And when I say train, don't just go to the range and peel off a few shots and say, okay, I did a good job. You know, run yourself through some kind of drills. There's all kinds of drills out there online that you can print out and you can run through. And one of the most important things I would say to people is get your heart rate up. It's a much different scenario when you're shooting at something and you're calm, a piece of paper, and then when your heart rate's elevated, you got that adrenaline dump going, and even a seasoned shooter can have shaky hands. Your vision becomes blurry, or you get tunnel vision. There's just a whole host of things that can happen when you're instantly put under stress. And I emphasize the word instantly because imagine this is like, most police officers know this. You go from 0 to Mach 10 in, nanoseconds. So it's a much different experience when your heart rate is elevated. Now, obviously, you can't mimic those conditions at a shooting range. However, you can raise your heart rate. Take a little jog around the parking lot, do some push-ups, do some, some jumping jacks or something. Get that heart rate elevated. Get yourself to where you're breathing heavy and, your heart rate's up, and then shoot your target. You'll find that it's a much different situation. In that situation, that's why I prefer the 40, because like I said before, the stopping power and the size of and the weight of this bullet come into play when you're under those conditions. You don't hit a center mass shot with the 9mm and it might not do as much damage, but you hit somebody with the 40 in a non center mass area, and it's gonna sting a lot. So that's one of the things that I love about the 40. The other thing that I love about this pistol and this caliber actually is the fact that barrier penetration, and that all comes with the size and the weight of the bullet. I'm shooting, I believe, I think I'm shooting 180 grain Federals, jacketed hollow points. So definitely a nice round to have. Definitely has good stopping power, good expansion, and great penetration. And the thing is if you're behind, let's say, a car door, anything but the engine block, or the rims on a tire, you can get good penetration through the door and still effectively hit that target through glass. It'll keep its trajectory, stuff like that. It's just a very reliable caliber when you're shooting through things, and you never know what's going to happen. Grocery store, you're shooting through an aisle, something like that, you're going to want to have that barrier penetration available to you. So let's get into the gun here, so to speak, the pistol. M&P just makes an absolutely fabulous pistol as far as I'm concerned. I mean, just the aesthetics of it, it looks great. It fits real good in my hands, and that is, due to the ergonomics of it and also the ability to be able to change out those back straps. I just have a very comfortable feeling with this. As a matter of fact, you guys know, if you watch the channel, I bought that SIG P320, and recently I bought this Smith & Wesson 10mm. So my plan is to take this 10mm and put it on my heavy kit for my 308, the M5, and I am actually going to replace that SIG P320 9mm with this 40. Just my personal preference. I really don't like the SIG. Not to say that it's not worth having in my gun safe, but as far as a weapon that I'm going to rely on in a situation, I want something that I know, that I feel comfortable shooting, and that's probably one of the first important things when you're building out your kit. Don't just go and buy something because everybody else has it. Stick to what you know. Stick to what you're comfortable with. That SIG is an awesome pistol. The modularity and stuff like that. However, it just doesn't feel good in my hands. Even with, I forget what the name of the company is that has the polymer frame that you can switch out with it. Can't think of it off the top of my head, but even with switching it out, it still doesn't feel comfortable in my hands. It's just not, it's not for me. It's still a fine firearm. Still going to keep it, but I'm just not going to use it to run in my kits for when I need it. So again, you know, coming back to the pistol, Smith & Wesson, it's a polymer frame, striker fired, has, you know, the stainless steel slide, and that slide and all its components are covered in armonite. So that armonite coating really keeps, you know, the corrosiveness, you know, of having this pistol out in the weather and stuff like that, or if you are carrying it against your skin where you're sweating on it and stuff, it'll keep it from, you know, tarnishing or rusting or anything like that. It's a great coating on this. I've had this pistol. This pistol is one that I've had probably the longest. I would say I've had this about, oh, what is it, 2023? Probably at least 6 or 7 years now. And as you can see, you know, she's in really good shape. Don't really have much wear on it. There is some wear on the barrel where the ejection port is here, but it's not, you know, devastating. It's not something that's going to ruin the gun. I did change out the sights on this. So as you can see, this is not an optics ready. I just got into optics probably about, I'd say, well, maybe a year ago now, maybe a year and a half ago with that SIG. And I do like the optics. I do like having the red dot now. As a matter of fact, you know, this 10 millimeter, it was optics ready, and I stuck my Vortex Viper on there. Love it. Just absolutely amazing having these red dots. And the more you shoot them, the more you become comfortable with them. It's just, you know, like anything. But this one did not come optics ready. It's basic, you know, just, you know, a basic handgun. But I am very proficient with the iron sights, and even on that 10 millimeter, I still practice with my iron sights. I don't rely on the red dot alone, because, you know, if you do that and then your red dot fails when you're in a gunfight, what are you going to do? You're going to be, you know, you're going to be in a situation that you don't want to be in. So you want to be able to smoothly transition back to those iron sights and still be able to put rounds on target. It's very important. So the slide on this thing, no optics cut. You have your slide serrations in the back here, real nice fish scales. Gives you a great purchase on the firearm to be able to rack that slide, clear any jams, or, you know, get the next magazine in there and get the next round in there. In the front here, they kind of skimped out. They only put them low on here. That's one of the things I don't like about it. But in all reality, you know, when you're doing this, you're just doing it for a peekaboo. And with this, you have the viewing window up top that you can see if you have a round in the chamber, and you can also see on the side here with this if you have a round in the chamber. So it's not really a big deal, but I would have really liked to have seen them, you know, put them up here. The 10 millimeter, they changed that, and you can see, you know, here they are down here, just like on the 40, but they also put them up here. I think that would have been really cool on the gun. It would have made a lot of other people happy, because I know there's people who enjoy, or, you know, practice with that to make sure that they have a round in the chamber. By the way, those guns are also clear, so don't get, you know, all panicky and upset that I didn't clear those. What do we have next? So this is ambidextrous. You can change out your slide lock from this side. It's actually already on this side, so, you know, you don't have to worry about it. Your slide, your takedown for this is only on the left side of the gun. I don't believe you can place it on this side. Your magazine release comes, you know, for a right-handed shooter. However, you can change it around, and you can put it on this side, so it is ambidextrous. Has a great feel. I just, you know, I can't say enough good things about this thing. The polymer frame. One of the things that I really like about Smith & Wesson is that their polymer is quite sturdy. You know, it's not something that you can just squeeze together and mush. I mean, it does have a little bit of give to it, but it's not as much as, say, a Glock. You know, the Glocks, again, nothing wrong with those. If that's your flavor, that's your flavor. But, you know, as far as I'm concerned, the Glocks are a little bit cheaper as far as, you know, their polymer frames. Coming around to this, on the polymer frame, you have your pins that are in here, and these are solid pins. That's one of the things that the M&P series improved on. The 2.0, actually, I should say. The original, they were just roll pins. These ones are nice and solid, so, you know, it'll withstand the test of time. The trigger on this thing. Now, this one is the I don't know what you call that. I think it's called the broken trigger, where, you know, you have your safety there, so you got to be able to, you got to squeeze that first before it'll come back. They made the improvement on the 10 millimeter. As you can see, it's a straight trigger. It has that little safety right there, and much improved on this. However, you know, this is definitely an improvement over the first generation of M&P, the first series they had out. It was kind of a crappy trigger, but this one, really like it. It's got a nice smooth feel to it. There's no grittiness right there. There's your wall right there, and it's instant. You know, there's some pistols, when you hit that wall, there's still a little bit of creep to it. With this, it's not there. It's got a nice crisp, audible feel to it. The reset on it, nice, not much at all. So, you know, for your trained shooters, for your experienced shooters, you know, you can get a lot of rounds downrange pretty quick with that short reset. Love it. Magazines are metal, so it's not, you know, plastic magazines. Like I said, 15 round capacity on them, and you know, 15 rounds of 40 is definitely plenty. Now, one of the things that a lot of people complain about on most 40s, and this goes for, I forget which one it is, the VTS Smith & Wesson 40, something like that. The Glock 40s, stuff like that. Muzzle flip. You know, with the 40, the 40's it's a heavy round. You know, it's not, you know, 124 grain. It's not 115 grain. You know, you can go up to, you can do 165 grain, 180. I believe you can even do in the 200s. Don't quote me on that though. But the thing about this, and the way this is designed, it has a lower bore axis. That means that the barrel of the gun is lower on the frame, and it's closer to your grip. Nice dovetail on this back end here. Get your hand up there for a nice purchase. Fingers come around. You got a good purchase on the gun. And then when you fire this thing, you know, because of that low bore axis and your high hand placement on it, it helps keep that muzzle flip down, and it helps get you back on target quicker. I know that's one of the complaints that a lot of people have about the 40, is that, you know, it just has too much muzzle flip. You know, it's harder to get back on target. With this one, I don't find that to be true. For me, this thing works, you know, this thing comes down quite quickly, and I can place, you know, all 15 rounds on center mass. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm going to put all 15 rounds in the X, center of the target, you know, when I'm doing a fast fire, but I can definitely keep them in the vital areas. And that's super important. And, you know, with that engineering design, it really helps you maintain your on-target acquisition after shots. So works great for me. I have no complaints. It's got a nice Picatinny rail on this thing here. Probably going to put like a TLR1 on here. I do have a couple different lights that I have put on this just at the range, just to shoot, you know, in no light situations or stuff like that. But right now, I just like to keep this gun basically, you know, stock. I don't really have anything that is dedicated to this, and that's just my preference. Coming around to the grip, it's got a nice aggressive grip. That's one of the other things that Smith & Wesson changed on this M&P 2.0 series. It's a more aggressive grip, and it's even more aggressive on this 10 millimeter, I believe, than it is on the 40. The 40's got a great aggressive grip on it, but this 10 millimeter, I mean, it's, and one of the things about this, I know I've done a review on this. I haven't done any range videos on it yet, but the thing about this thing is it feels like this 40, you know. The 10 millimeter or the 40 is basically a neck down 10 millimeter, but, you know, longer bullets in this, so it kind of increases the width right here in your hand. But still, with those back straps, you know, the option to change them out, it just really does feel like this is, you know, the 40 in my hand. Little bit of difference, but, you know, not so much that you're like, oh my god, this is an entirely new pistol. So really like that aggressive texture, and that aggressive texture on there also helps you with that muzzle flip. You know, it's your hands might get sweaty. I always shoot when I'm at the range, you know, with gloved hands. They're like second skin, really thin, and it gives me a good feel on the gun. But I do realize that in, you know, a real life situation, I'm not going to have those gloves on me, and that's why this grip is really nice. Just works out really well, and it helps with that muzzle flip. It helps with the controlling the pistol, and, you know, your geez, I don't know what you would call it, but your basic skills when it comes to firing this thing and utilizing it. It's got some texture there on the mag release, so, you know, your thumb won't slip off of it, and the magazine release is a really nice snappy release. You know, it comes out real nice, doesn't have any problems. Not like you know, the Smith & Wesson Shield, a little less aggressive on the texturing, on the grip. And, you know, when you release these, if, you know, this thing is full, the magazine's full, the gun's empty, but, you know, it's a little bit harder to get those out, so you just got to practice with it. But, you know, like I said before, make sure whatever you're going to carry, you practice with and you're proficient with it. Don't carry something that you're not, you know, comfortable with or you're not familiar with. And, you know, that could cause a problem if you are actually ever in a situation where you do have to utilize your weapon to defend yourself. All right, so that's pretty much going to wrap it up. I think I've covered all the bases on this. I'm trying to keep these videos shorter, so we're not taking up as much of everybody's time. I know it's valuable, but yeah, the M&P 40 caliber 2.0, absolutely amazing firearm. Like I've said before, the 2.0 series from Smith & Wesson, I just love it. You know, if Smith wants to send me anything, please feel free to do so. You know, I own this, you know, and these are all mine. Nobody sent me anything. So this is, you know, a honest review. You know, this is my Shield Plus. That's the one that I carry, you know, primarily in the summer, and I'll carry it all year round. And that's the 10 millimeter that I just purchased. Absolutely love this series of firearms. Can't say enough good things about it. One of the things I'm going to try and add to this collection, I've been getting the itch to have a 5.7 by 28. I know that Smith came out with one. I actually went down to my local gun store and tried one. It's an amazing firearm. Again, it has all the characteristics that these three do, and it is just an amazing pistol. You know, it gives you the option to have 22 rounds plus one, so 23, and you know, 5.7 is a NATO round, and it is quite the round. I mean, you can purchase some that will, you know, penetrate armor. Now there's also you know, ammunition out there that's been engineered that can penetrate soft armor. I don't know what level it goes up to, but I do know that the 5.7 will penetrate 3A. It won't penetrate 3A plus, which is one of the kits that I have. My CQB kit has a Safe Life 3A plus, and that was actually designed to defeat the 5.7 by 28. But anyways, we're getting a little off subject there. Again, amazing firearm. Check it out. If you already don't have one, you know, maybe you can go to your local gun range. They usually have guns for rent there. And if you see something new and you see something you want to try out, check it out. But we're gonna try and end this here now. So again, for all my viewers, I really appreciate you guys and girls. And you know, there's been a lot of more interaction between you guys and me. Feel free to ask me questions. Don't be shy. Don't be embarrassed or anything like that. I try to answer them as quickly as possible. Sometimes I'm a little busy and just can't get to it right away, but I definitely will get to you and answer your question to the best of my ability. I don't claim to be an expert in firearms, but I do know, you know, enough about them to be able to give you guys some advice. So please feel free to ask questions. Feel free to make comments. Just keep them nice. We had one guy who was kind of a jerk about the KSG, and didn't really appreciate it. But still, you know, people are people, and you can't stop people from making comments. But again, you know, ask me questions, make comments, show me what you got, you know, tell us what you have, tell us what you feel comfortable with, even if it's not the Smith & Wesson. You know, if it's the SIG, it's the SIG. You know, make a comment about it. If it's the Glock, it's the Glock. If it's, you know, a Taurus, I don't care, as long as, you know, you're comfortable with it and you're proficient with it. So again, to all my subscribers, thank you very much. You guys mean the world to me. We're really starting to gain some traction on the channel here. We're really starting to get our subscribers up there, and we want to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, so we can do a little bit more for you guys, and you know, give you some more information. So again, thank you very much. To all the viewers who are new, if this is your first video, check out the other videos that we have. There's a bunch of them out there. I think there's like 29. This will be like 30. Check out the videos. We try to do stuff. I mean, this is 3-line survival. It's not just about guns, but we do focus a lot on the firearms. We have stuff out there for, you know, backpacks, you know, emergency kits, stuff like that. So, you know, subscribe to the channel, check those videos out, and again, you know, if you have something that's better, make a comment. I'm always interested in learning new things, so don't be afraid to say something. All right, everybody, I'm starting to ramble on here, but again, appreciate all you guys. Stay safe this summer. Make sure you're strapped. Make sure you're supporting, you know, the 2A. That's your right. And, you know, I hope everybody has a great summer, and stay safe. All right, everybody. Thank you. Bye.